And now the Cayman Islands can rejoice this slice of paradise that is 7 Mile Beach, as it's been ranked the #1 beach in the world. Ellinger says once Blue Sky Airlines officially takes off and is operating here out of Owen Roberts International Airport, people will be able to hop on a plane and fly directly to destinations like you see here without having a connecting flight in the U.S. like Miami.
Right now, the only mandated law for drivers of scooters or mopeds in the state of North Carolina is if you're 16 years or older, you have to wear a helmet.
The director tells me they decided to end their run with this tropical grill because they wanted to focus mainly on their other 2 restaurants, like Simboco in Marquis Plaza and Chicken here in the West Shore Center.
Police say Drew was standing on this bridge when he picked up the dog and threw him over the side, dropping 20 feet into the water. Deputies say it was a dash cam like this one that recorded Ward sitting in the passenger seat of Parker's truck when the drug deal was made.
One swipe and the numbers begin to roll. Gas prices are on the rise in Cayman again and have many people wondering, when will it slow down?
Here in the Cayman Islands, gas is too damn high. That's the way I feel about it.
Definitely gas prices are too high, guys. You got to get this thing down, man.
It is really bad. This need to be dealt with. Everybody complaining.
As of today, if you head to any Esso gas station on the island, the cost of a regular unleaded full-service gas on average is $4.89. As for the cost at the pump for the same type of fuel at Aruba stations, you'll pay about $4.75 a gallon. According to the Economics and Statistics Office, the value of petroleum significantly declined in the first quarter of this year and continues to trend downward in the third quarter of this year. But when we're seeing prices as low as just $2.64 in the U.S., and considering the price of Brent crude oil dipped to a record-breaking low of just $50 a barrel this week, then the real question is, why aren't we seeing those same decreases reflected at Cayman gas pumps? From mid-March to early July of this year, we saw an increase of 55 cents, and now we are seeing a 75-cent increase. So let's break it down. In October 2014, a gallon of gas spiked at about $5.59. Then in January 2015, the average cost went down to about $4.38. After bottoming out at $4.15 in March, prices have since been on the upswing across the island. It went up in early July at an average of $4.70. And now in early August, we are looking at prices that are just short of the $5 per gallon mark. The Petroleum Inspectorate revealed when comparing the figures, the local prices surpassed the $5 mark in 2011 when refinery prices were averaging $2.28 a gallon. Currently, refinery prices are averaging much lower at $1.80 a gallon, and local prices are still inching up to $5. A few months back, when gas prices were much lower, I could put about $15 into my car, which may not sound like much, but it would get me at right about a half a tank. Now $15 gets me at almost a quarter of a tank. The Petroleum Inspectorate told CNS Business the closest the island has been to $6 a gallon was between May and June of 2011, when prices averaged $5.93 for regular unleaded gas. And now community members fear, like Cayman taxi driver Rayburn Seymour, that history has and will continue to repeat itself.
Trust me, I kind of budget myself now. Normally when I come up in the morning, I would maybe put like 15 the most in my car, and that run me like maybe half of the day, and then I got to like way down in the evening, like get like to 5 or so, 6. Then I have to go back to the gas station again and really full.
Fuel prices also continue to be a source of major concern for the government, as well as its impact on the economy. Minister of Planning Kirk Tibbetts has questioned the basis for the increase as to whether it is justified, suggesting that oil companies are making hay while the sun shines, while pending legislation to regulate and manage their cash flow increasing is on the horizon.
Every time we ask you guys to show us proof of what you pay for your fuel so that we can satisfy ourselves that your markups are reasonable. All I can hear is this fancy word that's proprietary information.
Tibbetts has stated that there needs to be some type of public utilities commission to oversee the island's two major fuel distributors, as well as regulation of fuel quality standards. The ministry told CNS Business they continue to drive this process, and the minister is steadfast and committed to having this legislation tabled on or before the September 2015 sitting of the House.
I don't understand how can you make a humongous change and then, by even before 24 hours, it going to back up more than where it lasts. You know what I'm saying? It go.
Although whatever the pain at the pump may be, consumers have no choice but to drive on. Reporting for CNS Business, I'm Jamie Hicks.
What we're faced with is obviously in the center of Georgetown, we're lacking space for parking as we try to do our Georgetown revitalization. We're also facing congestion on our roads, and there's only so many roads we can build on this little island unless we start to stack them.
It's a move to improve public transportation in the Cayman Islands.
We have to be proactive in finding ways of encouraging persons to use the public transport system and to alleviate congestions on our roads and parking downtown.
To get away from the bumper-to-bumper traffic you see here and focus on a solution.
What we need to see happening is reliable transport to all areas of Cayman so that we can encourage persons to take the public transport reliably, whether you're in North Side, East End, or whether you're going to South Sound or Bordentown, it doesn't matter. You need to be able to get there on time to work or to school.
In the Legislative Assembly, government officials reviewed the current bus system and decided the island needs to develop a long-term public transport strategy that is more suitable for society. CNS Business spoke with tourism counselor Joey Hugh, who says expanding bus routes to all areas in Cayman is the first step.
What we see in the future is not simply a public transport unit that runs omnibuses back and forth and around the island, but one that has larger capacity buses, more comfortable buses that run from district to the main depot. And then perhaps our omnibuses could run within the districts and around the districts, making it more feasible and viable for them to do so.
Hugh explained that the key to a successful public transportation system is one that is safe for everyone.
And that's going to run on a fixed schedule so that persons can know that once they're taking the bus that morning, they will get to work on time or to their event that evening. Or you don't want to take a bus into town to go to work and then work a few hours late and not be able to get a bus back home.
Local bus driver Earl Ebanks tells CNS Business he agrees with government's plan, but feels there are already too many bus drivers on the roads.
Bigger buses would be better and get less drivers, have less drivers in the street.
As part of the new bus system, government also plans to develop public transportation depots where people can drive their vehicles, park in a secure place, and then take a bus to their destination. Hughes says it's part of their plan to encourage people who live in the outer districts to take the bus, rather than driving into town to find parking. However, he stresses that
this is not something that we plan to disenfranchise anyone, and this is very important. I don't want to cause any concern amongst the public operators, public transport operators right now. This is a long-term plan that we'll work towards ensuring that everyone is thought about and that we take all these things into consideration as we move forward.
The tourism counselor explained if Cayman has more of a regulated bus system, then more people would be willing to take the bus as their way of transportation around the island.
50% of our population are expatriate, and that's a reality. And I believe that of that 50%, at least 30% of those come from environments where public transport is readily available and used. And I think if it's available here to those persons, they will use it.
Hughes says this is something that will not happen overnight, but it's time to form a plan to drive Cayman forward.
And of course, it's a way of life that we will have to learn to embrace and grow with here, especially as we talk about becoming a bit more environmentally friendly. Hopefully, we can see some changes or some plans in the next couple of years, and we can look forward to a public transport plan that works for everyone.
Reporting for CNS Business, I'm Jamie Hicks. To open or to close? That has been the question when it comes to Sunday being a day of general trading for businesses in the Cayman Islands. And now the government says they've got a plan that will soon allow some businesses to open their doors on a Sunday.
For me, Sunday is just a day of rest. I wouldn't want to be working on a Sunday. I wouldn't want to be driving up and down on a Sunday to go shopping on a Sunday. No.
Yeah, I just think it's a double standard. If the stores are closed for religious reasons because it's a day of, holiness, they shouldn't have bars that are opening, at midday or whatever time they open.
It's opinions like these that have split the sides of this age-old debate for decades. However, government says after hearing the battle cries from both sides, they have decided to clarify the Sunday trading law and lists 14 types of businesses that can legally operate on a Sunday, rejecting the idea of turning Sunday into a regular day of trade for all businesses in Cayman.
We have delivered on our promise to consult on Sunday trading, and Cabinet has approved a new schedule to the Sunday trading law to bring the legal framework in line with both retail practice and customer preference.
The new 2015 Sunday trading order lists 14 types of businesses, including establishments such as tourist-related shops, restaurants, pharmacies, beauty salons, gas stations, and retail businesses that sell food and beverages that are less than 4,000 square feet are exempted from this ban.
I think it's something that the Cayman Islands really needs.
Elvie Pierce says she feels this new law is a positive change.
It would definitely help with tourism and, bringing more money onto the island if shops were opened.
However, local Vanessa Leslie doesn't see the need for the change.
It's just one day. They already have 6 days in a week to do. It's no big deal to me.
It's because of opinions like these as to why the government decided to amend the law in the first place, after receiving the results of a public consultation report done last year. Government officials say what the law does is essentially give more choice to vendors and consumers. CNS Business also reached out to business owners to get their opinion. Owner Charlie Adams has been operating his shop called Artifacts on the waterfront in Georgetown for 40 years.
Basically, I feel that our staff should have the time off. I've always felt that we work 6 days a week. The 7th day should be a day where people can relax and not have to come in and work.
Adams says he thinks it's fair that government has made it a choice. However, he stressed it's something his business will not participate in.
I have no problem with other businesses if they want to open and their staff are happy to come in. I think that should be an option.
Business owners tell CNS Business as of now there are several establishments who already operate on Sunday illegally. Government leaders explained they have decided to legitimize the day of trade for particular businesses so that retailers currently operating in violation of the law will be made legal.
I guess if we were really hungry for business, we might consider opening, but at this point we don't see it as something we would want to do.
Reporting for CNS Business, I'm Jamie Hicks. When diving below, the lionfish species is a fish that can't be missed. From their beautiful zebra-striped body to their long and unique spiky tentacles.
One lionfish can produce 30,000 eggs in 4 days.
But don't let their beauty fool you. The venomous spine creatures are creating an eco-disaster throughout the Caribbean, where lionfish are wiping out native fish populations and are wreaking havoc on coral reefs.
With their proliferation on the reef, they're eating all of the baby reef fish that actually eat the algae off of the coral.
For years, organizations like the Cayman United Lionfish League, also known as COLE,
and we set the price at $5 a pound,
have worked to raise awareness in the Cayman Islands of the need to save local reefs by culling the red lionfish from them.
Lionfish, unfortunately, are an invasive species that is here to stay in the Caribbean.
A founding member of COLE, Katie O'Neill, explains many people have helped thin out the lionfish population one bite at a time.
We feel that it's really important that the restaurants that are serving lionfish here, which we're very thankful for, but that they need to serve lionfish that is culled in Cayman.
The Department of Environment's Chief Conservation Officer and COLE member, Mark Orr, tells CNS Business,
We have so many fish here that we have to get rid of. We cannot afford to bring in fish from other countries.
Orr feels the government should ban all importation of lionfish and focus solely on the problem in our own backyard. O'Neill says the COLE team continues to work hard to create a market for lionfish in the Cayman Islands.
You can bring in lionfish from other places like the Honduras, and it's cheaper, but it doesn't help Cayman. And we need to take care of our reef, first and foremost.
Here at Tucka, the Australian-inspired restaurant and bar in East End.
For the start, we're just lucky they taste good. If they didn't taste good, we'd be in a lot of problems.
Chef and owner Ron Hargrave says his customers can't get enough.
People walk in the door and say, hey, what do you got lionfish tonight? Everyone wants to try it, at least. And then when they try it, they're like, oh my God, this is great. We love it.
Hargrave says he's been cooking lionfish for more than 7 years.
We serve them in various different ways in both restaurants, both at Tucker and Eagle Rays, with lionfish tacos, with ceviche. We fry them whole for Fresh Fish Friday, and we also serve them in a lionfish burger. So we keep the tail of the lionfish hanging out of the end of it, so you know what you're eating is a lionfish.
Here at Tucka, Chef Ron says they've already hit the 10,000 pound mark for these lionfish in the past 4.5 years. Although in order to satisfy his customers and keep choices like this on the menu, Hargrave said sometimes he has to look outside of Cayman for his supply.
The lionfish, we have a lot of them, and they're great, but fresh is best. We get international stuff from Central America because the local guys here in Cayman can't supply enough of it, which is a good thing that we have.
However, COLE leaders continue to lead efforts to reduce the threatening species that reproduce at an alarming rate. Orr said COLE recently held one of their many lionfish tournaments earlier this month, and at the event, local divers and fishermen caught 885 lionfish off the reefs in 2 days.
What we're trying to do is keep the numbers down low enough until nature steps in, balances it off, and other predators start seeing them as prey, and also the small prey fish start seeing them as predators, so that they learn to run away from them. Because at the moment, they both of those don't happen.
As for the price of lionfish in Cayman, officials say that can run from $5 to $12 a pound.
It has to be a fairly, decent price, because it's a dangerous fish. It's a dangerous job going out and getting them. But we have to have our fishermen and our cullers out there encouraged to keep taking them, keep getting them off the reef. Otherwise, we may be looking at nothing else on the reef but lionfish.
Hargrave agrees it is best to buy locally and adds he is thrilled at the awareness that has been raised about this species around the world.
It's amazing how many people are aware of the problem that these fish are causing. And everyone is getting behind it, because ultimately by eating them, you're protecting your reefs, you're protecting a dive industry, a tourism industry, you know, and everyone's got behind that, which is great.
Reporting for CNS Business, I'm Jamie Hicks.